Hello everyone. Today's video is about learning English faster than ever and how it can completely change your real life, not just your vocabulary. It focuses on how English gives you confidence, removes fear, opens opportunities, improves communication, and helps you feel included in a global world. English is everywhere. On your phone, on TV, in music, in apps, on social media, and in conversations you overhear in cafes or at work. Every time you see it, you might feel like it is a secret code. Some words seem easy, others impossible, and sentences often feel confusing. But there is a way to break through that confusion, a way to understand, speak, and think in English naturally without wasting years trying to memorize grammar rules that never stick. Learning English perfectly is not about memorizing a dictionary. It is about observing, practicing, and immersing yourself in the language in ways that your brain actually remembers. The first step is to stop thinking in rules. Grammar rules are not the foundation of fluent English. Patterns are. Native speakers rarely think, "I will now use the present perfect tense correctly." They hear it, see it, and use it automatically because they have repeated it so many times. To learn English faster, you need that same repetition, but in meaningful contexts. That means reading real sentences, listening to real conversations, and speaking real thoughts. Textbooks have their place, but they cannot replace exposure to English as it is actually used. Start by surrounding yourself with English that matters. Forget random words lists. Instead, focus on content that interests you. If you like cooking, read recipes in English. If you enjoy games, watch gaming videos in English. If you follow business or technology, listen to podcasts or YouTube channels in English. The key is constant exposure, where your brain is forced to recognize and understand words in context, not as isolated fragments. Words remembered in context stick because your mind associates them with real situations, actions, and emotions. Listening is more important than most people realize. Understanding spoken English is the first step before speaking. Your ears need training to catch sounds, rhythm, and intonation patterns. Start with slow audio, then increase speed gradually. Repeat sentences you hear aloud. Imitate pronunciation, stress, and tone. Shadowing is a technique where you play a sentence and repeat it immediately, copying the rhythm and accent. It may feel strange at first, but your brain begins to memorize sounds and your tongue learns positions naturally. Reading in English should be constant and focused. Choose material slightly above your level so you can challenge yourself without frustration. Reading helps you notice sentence structures, word usage, and idioms in context. Don't just read, pay attention to how words are combined, how sentences flow, and how ideas are connected. Highlight or note phrases that feel useful and natural. Later, use these phrases in speaking or writing. Real learning happens when you recycle language you have seen or heard into your own communication. Speaking requires bravery and patience. Many learners freeze because they fear mistakes, but mistakes are part of the process. To speak English perfectly, you must speak every day. It does not matter if no one corrects you at first. Speak to yourself in English while doing daily tasks. Describe what you are doing, what you are thinking, or what you plan to do. Record your voice and listen. Compare with native speakers. You will notice gaps, and your brain will adjust. Gradually, speaking becomes more fluent because it is now linked to real-life thought processes, not memorized sentences. Vocabulary should grow naturally through usage. Instead of memorizing random words, focus on high-frequency words and phrases used in daily life. Learn words in groups or in sentences, not in isolation. For example, instead of learning happy, learn I feel happy today, or that made me really happy. Your brain will store the word with meaning, context, and emotion, making recall effortless. Phrases are even more important than single words because they are the building blocks of fluent speech.
Writing is equally important, even if you do not need to write professionally. Writing forces your brain to organize thoughts and structure sentences correctly. Start with journals, short notes, or messages in English. Do not overthink mistakes. Focus on clarity. Later, analyze your writing against native examples to notice natural sentence patterns. Over time, your writing and speaking will feed each other, creating a loop that strengthens fluency. Consistency is more important than intensity. 10 minutes every day beats 3 hours once a week. Your brain needs repetition, not overload. Daily small doses of reading, listening, speaking, and writing build neural pathways that make English feel natural. Make English part of your life, not a subject you study. Label objects around your house in English. Think in English during small tasks. Change phone settings to English. Watch shows without subtitles gradually. The more English touches your daily life, the faster it becomes automatic. Learning pronunciation is often underestimated. Many learners focus on grammar and vocabulary, but neglect how words sound. Pronunciation affects understanding, confidence, and communication speed. Learn sounds individually, then in words, then in sentences. Notice weak forms, stress, and rhythm. Shadowing helps here as well. Record yourself, compare, and repeat until your speech is natural. Even small improvements in pronunciation make a huge difference in fluency perception.
Grammar is best learned through observation, not memorization. Instead of rules first, notice patterns. Watch sentences repeatedly. Listen, read, and imitate. Notice how native speakers use tenses, prepositions, and articles. When you see patterns repeatedly, the rule becomes obvious naturally. Over time, your brain internalizes grammar, and speaking becomes smooth without conscious effort. Immersion is key. If possible, spend time in environments where English is used naturally. Conversations, media, work, or study where English dominates accelerate learning dramatically. If travel is not possible, simulate immersion digitally. Join online communities, discussion groups, or language exchanges. Talk to native speakers via apps, participate in online forums, or attend virtual events. Exposure to diverse accents, vocabulary, and expressions is essential. English in textbooks is limited. Real English is dynamic, and exposure teaches you how it changes with context. Memory techniques also help. Connect new words to images, stories, or feelings. Your brain remembers emotions better than abstract information. If you see astonished, imagine someone with wide eyes reacting to a surprise. If you learn approve, link it to an experience where someone agreed with you. These associations make vocabulary stick. Flashcards can work, but context and emotion make them powerful. Set specific goals. Decide why you want to learn English. Is it for career growth, travel, study, or self-expression? Goals provide direction, helping you choose relevant content, prioritize skills, and measure progress. Review goals periodically. Adjust strategies as needed. Clear goals prevent random learning and wasted effort. Listening and repeating real conversations is more effective than structured drills. Listen to interviews, podcasts, or dialogues. Repeat aloud, focusing on tone, rhythm, and natural phrasing. Notice how questions are asked, how opinions are expressed, and how emphasis changes meaning. Your brain starts recognizing patterns, predicting language, and forming responses automatically. Mistakes are feedback. Do not avoid them. Every mispronounced word or misused phrase teaches you what needs attention. Record errors, review, and practice again. Mistakes lose power when confronted with repetition and correction. Confidence grows when you accept errors as part of learning. Engage all skills together. Do not separate reading, listening, speaking, and writing. After reading, summarize aloud. After listening, write a short paragraph.
Speaking becomes more fluent when supported by reading and listening. Writing improves when vocabulary and sentence patterns are reinforced through listening and speaking. The skills form a cycle that strengthens your overall fluency. Cultural understanding improves learning. English is not just words, it is context, culture, and behavior. Idioms, humor, and social norms make communication natural. Observe how native speakers interact, joke, and respond. Learn common expressions, not just literal meanings. Cultural awareness prevents misunderstandings and makes your English sound authentic. Use technology strategically. Language apps, AI tools, dictionaries, and online videos are helpful. They give instant feedback, examples, and exposure. But tools are not enough without action. Use them to practice speaking, check pronunciation, and expand vocabulary. Always follow up with actual usage. Tools accelerate learning, but immersion and practice create mastery. Finally, patience matters. Learning English perfectly is a journey. There are plateaus where progress feels slow. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and reflect on improvement. Small daily gains accumulate into visible fluency. Celebrate milestones, no matter how minor, because they reinforce motivation. Fluency comes to those who persist, focus, and engage meaningfully with the language.